and welcome to episode 4 of Happiness from Within. I'm your host, Jeanette Prado. Appreciate you tuning in to today's amazing episode. I had the pleasure of sitting down with Jonny Morelli, also known as Jonny Juicer. Jonny is the son of 2 Italians who grew up with a lot of health issues, including IBS, intolerance to lactose, and suffering from many migraines. After discovering the world of juicing, veganism, and health, he completely changed his life and got rid of his health issues and now coaches others in doing the same. Jonny's story starts at a very young age. As a boy in high school, he kept suffering from terrible migraines, IBS, and continuous upset stomach. Later on, he started partying and working and was truly addicted to fast food and had an unhealthy lifestyle. But this all changed when he saw the documentary, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, a movie about an Australian helping Americans become more healthy through juicing. It took him some time, but eventually he incorporated juicing into his lifestyle, eating 32 ounces of raw fruits and vegetables every single day. It was a complete mindset shift, and he immediately saw the difference. He had more energy, lost a ton of weight, and had few health problems. He even inspired his mom to change her lifestyle, and she was able to reverse her heart disease. So I really encourage you to sit back, relax, grab your favorite green smoothie, maybe a cup of coffee or tea, a snack, and I'll catch you in the interview. Hello, and welcome to episode 4 of Happiness from Within. I have my good friend here, Jonny Morelli, also known as Jonny Juicer. Today, he's going to be sharing his amazing experience through his health and wellness. And let's go ahead and start with an introduction. Hi, Jonny. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you. How are you and Noah doing over here?
We're good. You know, it's just waking up. I took him outside. It's a beautiful day here in sunny Los Angeles. No complaints.
Oh, absolutely. That's great. Well, I'm very excited to be interviewing you today. It was a pleasure to meet you at the Vegetarian Festival back in September.
Yes, likewise.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and jump in. So if you can start with your story, where did this journey begin for you? Or if you even want to go back as far as just anything you'd like to share, maybe give a little background of yourself or...
Right. Yeah. I mean, basically, I'll probably start, my journey started a little over 5.5 years ago. Up until that point in my life, just from a young child, I had suffered from IBS. I was diagnosed with IBS going into high school, actually. I was lactose intolerant, like most of the world is. And I had chronic migraines from a very young age. So I had a lot of different health issues that were, and I mean, when I say the migraines, I had them every other day. It wasn't just a once a month or once every couple month thing. So, and I just grew up thinking that this was just a part of who I was, it was defining me. So I took medication for my migraines. Actually, I took them only for a little while because I liked the actual effect of the Excedrin migraines that you can get in the stores because they had caffeine in them and it would help my migraine quicker. And the pharmaceutical drug I would take didn't have the caffeine. So I wouldn't take those. I would take 6 Excedrin migraines a day. I would build up a tolerance to it. But so up until that point, like I said, up until 5.5 years ago, it just progressively got worse up until I got out of high school. And for the most part, I thought I ate healthy. I come from an Italian background, so my mom used to, cook pasta every weekend, and she did a lot of home cooking, a lot of dairy, a lot of meat. But like I said, and I was an athlete in high school, so for the most part, I was fairly active. I played basketball 4 years. But when I got out of high school, like I said, things started spiraling downward because I was eating out more. I was going to fast food places. I was at junior colleges. So right after lunch, I'd go to Wendy's across the street. And it was just a mess. And then I turned 21, started going out partying with my friends. And I just got stuck in a dead-end job that I was in for 12 years. I was at FedEx for 12 years driving. So I really didn't have no direction, mission. I was very unhappy. I was unhealthy, clearly from going out. I mean, that was kind of masking. I was kind of numbing myself because I wasn't really happy with my reality. So again, about 5 years ago, which it marks, 2012? Actually, 6 years ago, 2012 was when I found the documentary. I was at home eating a deep dish pizza one day. scrolling through Netflix, and I happened to come across the documentary Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. And it completely resonated with me because there was a woman in there who had actually had some similar things I had going on, especially the migraines. I mean, because my migraines were so bad, I recall being at FedEx, and I would call my manager, and I would tell her, I'm getting one of these migraines, and she would have another truck come and do a sweep, which would mean they would take all the freight from my truck and take it to the airport. And I would take my pills, and I would literally lay, because I had to be in a dark, quiet room, but I would lay in the back of the truck. I mean, that's how bad it would get. It was terrible.
Wow.
So it would make me nauseous. So I saw this documentary, and I said to myself, well, here I am all my life thinking I'm in shape and healthy because I was going to the gym, and I would spend an hour and a half at the gym, but I was also taking supplements and all types of crap, your whey protein and all that. And I would go to the gym, but then I would go to, like I said, a fast food place after, so I wasn't fueling right. And with Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, it's basically about that Australian man who came to America and juiced his way to health, right? And he inspired people along the way. And like I said, the woman who had the migraines, I was like, wow, I've never eaten fruits and vegetables unless I'm at my mom's house and she has like a little iceberg side salad with grape tomatoes or some type of terrible dressing on it. So maybe this can work. So I have a very extreme, passionate personality, and I'm like, I'm going to go get a juicer tomorrow. So I went to Bed Bath & Beyond the next day and actually got the same juicer from that documentary.
Wow.
And that weekend I set myself up for doing a 3-day juice fast that Monday that was coming up. And after the first day, I failed. I did it all one day. I felt great. And then the next day, day 2, I was at work, and I'm like, man, I'm hungry. So I went to cheeseburger. I went and got French fries. So the juice cleanse failed, but it kind of planted a seed, and I didn't juice as frequently as I wanted to, but I had the juicer on the counter. It started collecting a little dust, and it wasn't until my problem started getting worse that year when I finally put my foot down and said, all right, I'm juicing. I'm going to start juicing every day. I'm going to complete this 3-day juice cleanse, and I'm just going to incorporate a juice every day. And that's what I did, and it's basically how my journey started.
Wow. That's really amazing. For somebody out there that's listening, can you explain what irritable bowel syndrome is? Because I know there's a lot of people that suffer with that.
Yeah. So basically, I had a hall pass from my doctor because I was always in the bathroom. I always had the runs.
Wow.
He would basically go through me. I'd be at a restaurant and it would take 20 minutes, literally. And while we were waiting for the check when I was with my family, immediately, I'd be getting this urge, and I'd always have to, it was embarrassing, I'd always have to go to the bathroom. And same thing with high school. I had a hall pass at all times, which I always say sometimes I took advantage of. I would always go in my friends' classes and stuff, and I would, mess around. But it wasn't, and I never made the correlation with the food. I just thought, okay, this is something, a disease or whatever. And my mom thought I had Crohn's disease because that's in my family.
Wow.
So I just thought that this was something that I had to live with. That even when I played basketball, in high school, halftime, I would have to go and I'd be in the bathroom. It was just not a good feeling, and always had an upset stomach. And so I mean, if you can think about a combination of that and then migraines, I mean, it's just I was always sick. I was fairly overweight as well during that time. I mean, at my worst, which was back in 2012, I was 225 pounds. I had come out of a toxic relationship as well. So I was in a very dark place.
Sure.
And that documentary kind of shed some light, started just incorporating juices in my life. And what it did was what I found, it helped change my palate to help me start eating more raw fruits and vegetables. If somebody were to tell me, you just got to start eating more raw fruits and vegetables, with IBS, it's harder to digest and eat raw fruits and vegetables. But with juicing, boom, just totally cheats that, and you can do that. So that's what I did over time, and I was just feeling better and better and better, because when I tell people you got to juice, it's not just juicing once a month or once a week with 15 ounces. I'm talking about juicing 32 ounces a day, every day, and keeping this habit up, and you will see changes. I put my mom on it for 21 days. I put clients, it's a game changer, because we're not eating enough fruits and vegetables on a day-to-day basis. And one 32-ounce green juice can give you, roughly between 12 and 15 servings of raw vegetables, which we're not getting on a day-to-day basis. So
Absolutely.
great way to cheat that all together.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. That's really incredible. Yeah. I mean, because we're in a health crisis right now. I mean, what is it? 7 out of 10 people are overweight. I mean, it's just crazy, you know? So just to back up a little bit, tell us a little bit, where are you from?
So I was born and raised Chicago, Illinois.
Wow, you know what cold is.
I know what cold is. I recently made the move out to Los Angeles 3 months ago. You know, getting into this lifestyle, I've been on raw living foods now for a little over 3 years. And doing that during Chicago winters can be very challenging. I was last year did a 40-day juice cleanse. This year I did a 30-day juice cleanse. And I always do them in the heart of winter. People are always like, you're crazy. Why would you? But to me, it kind of gets my mind off of the winter and just helps me focus more on my juicing and my goals, and especially I do it into the new year, and it helps me set intentions and have more mental clarity. But at a certain point, it was like, I can't do this 20-degree, 15-degree weather eating raw, especially the fruit out there wasn't as good. So out here, I mean, it was 75 yesterday. You can't complain. 75 in December out in Los Angeles. So
right. Absolutely. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. So as you're going through your journey, so I want to go back to when you were at your lowest point, because we all have moments like that in life. Yeah. And it's the pain, right? Would you agree, that lifts us out? There's a goal and there's a reason to lift us out of that, right? For you, it's because you wanted to be healthy. So my question is what was your mindset shift? Like, what was the decision or that you made for yourself? Because for somebody out there that's listening, let's say that they're 200 pounds and let's say they're like, you know what, like I really want to start juicing and changing my diet. What would you say to that person that's really suffering out there?
Well, I would just say there's a bunch of things that I did to help me finally reach my goal. I was very much somebody who was influenced by friends, always wanting to go out and party. And like I was saying earlier, numb myself to my reality. I never really wanted to change my reality. I just wanted to complain and just, distract myself with all the wonderful distractions we have in this life. So I would just say, when I found that documentary and I found the knowledge, and then I found that there is hope. There is a way that we can change. There is different education out there that we don't have, that we aren't exposed to. And it's just seek this information. When I saw that documentary, it opened it like a light bulb went off, and I was hungry to make a change at that point. I was almost 30 years old at that time. I think I was 2012, so 6 years ago. Yeah, well, I was 30. I was 30 years old, and I knew I was getting to a point where it's like, all right, I either am going to keep living this lifestyle and I'm going to be hooked on medication the rest of my life and be unhappy, or I'm going to take my life into my own hands and try to change my health. It couldn't hurt. So I tried the juicing, and I just think that out of everything, if you're trying to change your health, no matter if you're trying to go vegetarian, paleo, vegan, whatever it is, I feel that a juicer is such a powerful, powerful tool, especially in modern technology. I think it's one of the most powerful tools in health because, like I was saying, because I was a junk food addict, coming from a very unhealthy lifestyle, we aren't craving greens. We aren't craving ginger. We don't want to eat that stuff. We're addicted to all the processed foods that have these chemicals in them that are designed to keep us addicted to them. So what I feel that juicing so powerful is you could throw all these greens, all these medicinal foods, these dandelions and kale, spinach, whatever. And if you don't like the greens, guess what? You can take an apple and sweeten your juice up, maybe cut up a little pineapple, and you just cheated the whole process, So in just doing that every day and incorporating it, you don't have to worry about getting your fruits and vegetables. And that's what I like to tell my clients. That's how like I said, I got my mom on board. And second time I mentioned to my mom, she was able to reverse her heart disease. She was supposed to have open heart surgery about 3 years ago. And she went to the Mayo Clinic and they wanted to cut her open. They gave her like a 6-month window. But what I did was I got her juicing, got her to give up meat. She didn't even give up dairy yet, but she had given up meat. And after 4 weeks, she had lost like 15 pounds. She was feeling better. And I said, just do it for a month, Mom. See how you feeling. And about 6 weeks later, she was still doing it. I'm like, oh, you're still juicing, huh? She's like, I love it. It's great. And to this day, she's still doing it. She lost weight. She looks amazing. She's 100% reversed her heart disease. She's medication free. She was on 7 medications. This year got off her cholesterol pill. So it's just been a blessing.
Wow, that's really amazing. Is it your mom or your dad that's Italian?
They're both Italian.
Oh, they're both. Wow. So for an Italian woman, that's like pretty incredible.
And she's the cook of the family, so imagine that. But she veganizes everything now, so it's pretty cool.
That's amazing. So I had somebody ask me a question that wanted me to ask you. So this person, they wanted to stay confidential, but basically what their question is they want to start juicing and, being healthy, but they want to know how you work out through juicing and having a vegetarian or vegan diet and staying in such good shape without eating meat.
Okay, yeah, exactly. I get that question all the time. What do you get for protein? What do you get for protein? I'd like to say that at 37 years old right now, I'm in better shape probably than I ever have been in my life. And I don't even work out as hard as I ever used to. And the reason why is because I'm eating foods that don't cause inflammation, that are all anti-inflammatory, that don't have mucus and don't cause all this weight gain. I'm eating raw living foods that every fruit and vegetable has protein. It's basically water, nutrients, and fiber, so you're constantly flushing your system. So if I can attribute anything to my physique, it's having so much more energy than I ever had in my life from the foods I'm eating. So if you have more energy, you can do more, So I go to the gym and I have harder workouts, more efficient workouts, as opposed to staying at the gym for 2 hours, taking all types of supplements and thinking this is going to get me big. And then afterwards having a whey protein shake, going and having a burger and just getting bigger. I never had abs in my life, and my abs are effortless now because of the way I eat. But also not just, I've never been worried about protein. I do, however, like supplement stuff like spirulina, which is one of the highest forms of protein by weight. Hemp seeds, which has, your omega profile, all your amino acids. I mean, some superfoods that we're not aware of. We think that we just need to go eat a steak or a chicken breast, but some of the best, highest, purest forms of protein and your amino acids are coming from plants. So I found that I have more strength endurance. I have way more endurance playing basketball, which is one of my favorite sports and activities to do. And my lifting weights, I'm not lifting as much as I used to when I was 220 pounds. But for my weight, I still lift really good weight, and I feel great. Every day's a good day. So I wouldn't worry so much on the protein. Again, that's something the meat and dairy industry kind of throws at you. You see it on billboards, on TV, you need your protein. But yeah, if we just go back to nature and just raw fruits and vegetables, baby, the juicing, the smoothies, and you're good.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for that. So another question I had is in regards to Noah. When did Noah come into your life?
So, yeah, Noah, that's a great question. When I went vegan I watched Earthlings. That's the documentary that actually made me go vegan. I told you my journey about how I went juicing and I juiced, and then it wasn't until 2013 I went vegetarian for 3 months, then I went vegan. And when I saw the documentary Earthlings, because going vegan was tough. Being Italian, dairy was, I put cheese on everything. Cheese on everything. It was nuts. So it was very hard to give up. But when I saw Earthlings, it totally, if you have a heart and you have morals, and I was just, I cried, So, and there was a whole segment on dogs and puppy mills and how they're euthanized. And I was, right after watching it, I'm like, I need to go adopt a dog. I've always wanted my own dog, but it was time to adopt a dog. And I found a shelter downtown, and I saw this guy. And I was like, what a cutie. And he was a baby. He was only about 4 or 5 months old.
Wow.
And I immediately, there's all these dogs, and I just saw him out of all of them, just that little face. And I adopted him there. And it was so funny because when I adopted him, he was so quiet. He didn't bark for like a month. My girlfriend and I had thought, does this guy even bark? And now he runs the house. He's barking at everybody. He's like the alpha of the house. He thinks he runs the house. But I just try to give him the best life ever. He's been such a blessing. Since I've incorporated him in my videos, my platform's grown. So, he's just, he's really been a blessing in my life. He's awesome.
Wow. That's amazing that you saw him at the shelter. He was meant to come into your life.
Yes.
He's a beautiful little soul. He's beautiful. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. So now I wanted to jump into right now, so you've turned your health into a business. How did you transition from going to FedEx to now turning this into, you've helped like so many people. I see all of the testimonials and people that follow you. And so, yeah, just if you can jump into that of how that started and what were small steps that you started to take, maybe there's someone out there that just wants to hear about that.
So basically my health started changing, right? I was working at FedEx. I was bringing my mason jars to work. I was juicing all the time, and I was very eager and enthused about this lifestyle because I was feeling so much better. I was losing weight. I had so much energy, and people at work thought I was crazy. People are like, "Oh, don't come over here with that swamp juice. Oh, you got that swamp juice again." They used to call it swamp juice. It's the green juice, but they call it swamp juice. But the funny thing is I'm a very giving person, so I would always bring juice for people just to have them try it. And I started getting people hooked on it. They're like, "Wow, this is actually pretty good stuff." But some people, I was so eager, and I was still very early in my journey, so I would always want to tell people about it. And it was almost like hitting a brick wall because nobody really wants to hear, you're doing something that they're not, or you're changing and you're trying to push something on them. So what I did was I used Instagram. Instagram at the time, it just started coming up. And I created a page, and it was basically just a juicing page. I was always posting juices and recipes and inspiration and talking about how it improved my health and connecting with different people. It was very, very easy to connect with people back then with hashtags and tagging. Instagram was much different. I don't know what they did now, but it's a lot different. But you were able to reach a larger audience back then. And so that's what I was doing. I was posting every day. I said, you know what, instead of putting it all out there in my physical life, I'm going to use my social media platform. I stripped, I used to follow, I always talk about this. I used to follow all types of celebrities and just toxic stuff and news. And I said, I'm not following nothing unless it inspires me. So I started following people that were juicing and into veganism and into raw foods. And I would look at my news feed, and then I would post my stuff. And it was just my form of inspiration and my little place to go to keep me inspired. And I used that as a tool, and I was just persistent and consistent with it every day. And it was never a business. It was just me still working at FedEx. But what I was doing was I was listening to yourself. I was listening to podcasts. And back then you couldn't find vegan or juicing podcasts. I'd get lucky if I could find one during the week. So I'd always be like, "Oh, this is great," and I'd listen to it while I was driving. And I just started gaining more mental clarity and becoming more clear that, okay, well, I don't think I want to do this job anymore. I think I'm starting to heal myself, and I'm on a mission. I want to be on a mission to help others as well.
Yeah.
So at that point, I enrolled in the Institute of Integrative Nutrition for health coaching.
Wow.
And during that time, I came full circle with a really good friend of mine from high school who had his own practice in Florida. He's a doctor. And he actually changed his practice into functional medicine. He trained with Dr. Mark Hyman, which is much more thorough. They focus on the gut. And he moved back to Chicago, and he asked me, he's like, "What are you doing now?" And I told him I'm health coaching. And he's like, "Well, I'm opening up my own practice. I have my own office as well, separate office." He goes, "You're more than welcome to come in there, do your coaching. You could even take on my clients." So I thought it was a great idea. So after 12 years at FedEx, I decided it was time to leave. But I also would like to say this. While I was still at FedEx was when I started making videos with Noah, because I just threw Noah in one video one time and it went crazy because people love dogs. And I saw that trend, so I started incorporating them more and more. So I would not only work a full-time job at FedEx, but I started incorporating Noah in videos without getting paid, without getting no sponsorships, and I was just posting it every day. And I would make more creative videos, and it was just getting more attention, more engagement. The following started rising. So I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So then I started working at the functional medicine office before I even finished my health coaching certification. And during that time, I had a lot more downtime, and I could focus on more of the things that I was passionate about. And that's when I started, companies would start reaching out to me, dog food companies and, green powder companies and all these different companies that wanted me to do little sponsorships with them.
Wow.
And that's when I was like, wow, I could start making a little money off this. And it turned into, making sponsorships and affiliate deals and all these different things, as well as health coaching. And that's kind of where my life has gone right now.
Wow. That's amazing. Congratulations. How long have you been an entrepreneur?
It's been 2016 I left FedEx. So 2016 to 2017, I worked 1 year with him in the functional medicine office just to get some hands-on practice with the coaching and everything. And then I just decided to do my own, take it on my own, because I knew I was going to move out here eventually. So,
congratulations. That's just pretty recent. I mean, that was just 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
That's really amazing. Congratulations. That's great. So right now you, if you don't mind sharing so right now you generate your revenue through coaching and affiliate marketing. Is that correct?
Basically affiliates, random sponsorships from companies where it's like, you put this product in your video and we'll pay you X amount of dollars or whatever. So basically, and also I do public speaking. I go to different events. I'll be at the Veg Fest Arizona. So I do a lot of public speaking and traveling for that. I host my own events locally. I haven't done any here in LA yet, but I was doing them in Chicago like once a month. So anything I can get into that is aligned with my lifestyle, like for instance, the products or whatever I put in my videos that are sponsored or affiliated or whatever, I make sure are in alignment with me and what I'm talking about. I don't just put anything out there. If it's something that I use, cool. If it's a juicer I'm using, a blender I'm using, if it's some type of product like that, then so be it. But other than that, because there's a lot of emails I get, and I'm not going to just start advertising clothes and all this, stuff and be like a QVC saying swipe up here, swipe up there. I just try to stay as authentic as I can. I think that's part of my engagement is just seeing my authenticity. So
absolutely. Yeah. That's actually one thing I just really love about your Instagram and you as a person is that you're very real. So thank you for that,
Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah, because there's a lot of fake stuff out there. Would you agree?
And the more you meet people from the social media world, it's like you meet them in person, and sometimes it's like, wait a second, it's like it's a totally different persona than what you see on Instagram, and I love meeting people that are actually walking the walk of what you see and what you see on their Insta stories. Like they are exactly that in person, and that's kind of what I try to emanate.
That's the other thing that also really attracted me to Christina. I'd been following her, for like probably 4 years. Yeah. And she's the same way. She's very real, and you meet her in person. It's like, wow, so.
Yeah, I love Christina. She's amazing. Yeah, she was one of the first people that inspired me on raw foods. Like I was on YouTube and her and this other guy, Dan, the Life Regenerator McDonald, were the only people at the time creating content every day on YouTube. I mean, they were like the pioneers in the YouTube world.
Wow.
And then, everybody else started coming. But I mean, Christina and Dan were the ones that I saw first. And I was like, wow, these guys are really doing it. And then, like you said, meeting them in real life, they're the real deal. So.
Wow, that's amazing. So for someone out there that's listening, let's say today they want to go out and get a juicer. What is a simple recipe, just this simple recipe that they could start with today? What would you recommend to that person?
I'll give you two. I'll give you two for two reasons. Number one, the first one is the mean green. This is what I started with. It's very simple. Kale, celery, cucumber, lemon, ginger, apple. So you're using one bunch of kale, one bunch of celery, one cucumber, an apple, a lemon, and a thumb of ginger. And that is like the perfect kind of alkalizing, detoxifying green juice that you could put with all the principles all the foods have. And it'll roughly juice between 26 or 32 ounces of juice, depending on the juicer you use. And if that's because people say juicing is expensive, which I find is nonsense, because if you go to a wholesale market, you get stuff in bulk. If you go to, you shop around and you find deals, But if that is the case, all you got to do is go to the store and buy a 5-pound bag of carrots. It's $3.99, so $4. You can get roughly 40 ounces of carrot juice. It's as simple as that. So I mean, you can start with carrot juice. You could do carrot apple. You could do carrot apple ginger. But a green juice is the staple in my diet. So the green juice I just told you, and then basically rotating my greens. I like rotating from kale one day to spinach another to something like chard or dandelions and so on. So.
That's great. Thank you for that. And for someone that's listening, I know you said the name earlier, but what's the name of that documentary if somebody wants to go listen to it?
It's called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. It's on, I believe it's on Netflix still. If it's not, I think you can definitely find it on YouTube or Prime Video or something like that. But I would say out of every documentary I've ever seen, What the Health was pretty powerful. But For the time in my life where I feel that Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead was just life-changing. It was so inspiring. I mean, and it wasn't just Joe in the documentary, who was the Australian man, but the people he inspired and how far they took their health as well. I don't know if you've seen that documentary, but I mean, I've recommended it to so many people, and it's just incredible. It's incredible. Juicing is so powerful if used the right way, because nowadays, I mean, everybody has a juice bar up. They're expensive. You know, I never recommend people going to juice bars. I think that's just as sad as it is being a juice advocate. You know, it's too expensive. You know, you go walk into a juice bar and it's $15 for a juice like this here in LA. It's like, really? Like, are we just trying to make money? I mean, I understand it costs money to have a place, but it's ridiculous. I mean, it kind of turns people off of juicing, and they just say, "Oh, I'm just going to go make a smoothie or something."
Yeah.
So that's why I always recommend people, you know, go out and get your own juicer and do it yourself daily. You know what's going in it. You can taste the life coming out of it, and just make it a priority.
Yeah. Now, the diet that you give to Noah, can you talk a little bit about that? Maybe there's someone out there that wants to start incorporating a raw vegan diet to their dog.
Sure. Well, actually, he's on a vegan. He gets half raw, half cooked. So his base, he gets fresh food every 2 days. We make fresh food for him. So he gets either a wild rice or a quinoa, and it's also mixed with, this is his base. It's normally that with sweet potatoes, some type of bean, some lentils, and what we do is we mix that in a pot with, you know, sometimes we throw peppers in there, peas, carrots, and then we throw some raw vegetables in as well. And then afterwards we mix it with maybe a little bit of almond butter, some chia and flax, some hemp seeds. You know, he gets spirulina. He gets all the good stuff. There's also this supplement from Health Force Superfoods called Green Mush that has like dulse flakes and all types of super greens in there. So, I mean, he's getting a lot of good stuff, and he loves it. I mean, he goes to town on it. And he also gets, we have bags of B-Dog as well. And what we do is we keep that in his bowl. So he eats in the morning and he eats at night, but we also keep B-Dog. So sometimes like he'll eat during the day, and then we'll hear him at like 11:30 at night or something, or midnight crunching in the kitchen, and then we come and peek around and he's eating his B-Dog. But yeah, for the most part, he eats a lot of fresh food. He eats a lot of, you know, what I eat. He eats a lot of fruits. He eats a lot of vegetables. But his main course is always very high protein, high fat. So, and he gets coconut meat. I mean, he's always eating good. He drinks coconut water. What dog do you know that drinks coconut water almost every day? Fresh water.
Wow, that's amazing. So how many juices do you drink a day?
I always drink at least 32 ounces. Yesterday I had about 40 ounces, but I always make roughly 32 ounces. Sometimes I drink 64, sometimes 96, just depending on how I feel. But a big thing I've been doing out here is I've been buying coconuts like crazy because I can get them by the box fairly cheap. I get 9 coconuts for around $12.
Wow.
And I drink a lot of coconut water. I probably drink more coconut water than I drink water. So.
Wow. Dude, yeah. I got to hear about this coconut place. And then what else do you incorporate in your diet throughout the day?
Besides juice, so basically I do kind of intermittent fasting, but I don't, and the reason why I say this is because I don't have a window on how late I eat. There are some nights where I'm up and I'll be like, okay, and I'll crack an avocado, and I'll throw some of that black Himalayan salt. If you're not familiar with that, you got to check that out.
Wow.
Black Himalayan salt is high in sulfur, so it has this smell. It almost has like a rotten egg smell. And when you put it on an avocado and mash it together, it actually tastes like an egg. It's incredible. And I used to love eggs. Not that I crave them, I don't. But it's just an interesting taste with when I throw that and some cayenne pepper in it. So it's pretty tasty. So for those that are listening, black Himalayan salt, check it out.
Wow.
So what I do is I basically wake up, I start my day with water or coconut water, and I go to the gym. So I didn't go to the gym yet today. As soon as we're done, I'm probably going to head off to the gym, and I normally do fasted workouts. And when I come home, when I feel my body is like hungry and drained, is when I say, okay, time for my juice. And I try to just drink juice, and I kind of leave my juicer out. And like I said, I'll do 32 ounce, sometimes 40. And depending on how hard I worked out or whatever, I'll just keep juicing and I drink. Or sometimes I don't always drink a juice right after. I'll have a smoothie depending on how my day's looking. And then like around 5 o'clock, I'll make my juice. And then I have a fruit rack that just has all fruit up there. I have my bananas, all my citrus, my apples. I have avocados, pomegranates. I have all stuff up there right now. And it's basically, that's my fast food. You know, if I'm feeling something, I'm never hungry. And I think I'm never hungry because I drink so much green juice, you know, because there's so many minerals in there. And I feel that my body's always satisfied. What I tell clients is I'd eat a burger, I'd eat pizza, I'd eat all these foods that are very filling and fill your stomach. But at the same time, they're nutrient depleted. You're not getting no nutrients from them. You're not getting no life force from them. Whereas from raw living foods, boom, an apple, you got the water, you got the nutrients, and you're feeling good. You know, you got some fiber to flush things out. And to me, it's worked the best. So.
Wow, that's amazing. I had another question. Somebody asked me about the spirulina, the fresh spirulina versus like the powder. What do you recommend?
Well, I would recommend the freshest form you can get. I mean, if you can get it fresh, absolutely. You also want to know where it's sourced. You know, you don't want it coming from, you know, chemicals and, you know, dirty parts of the ocean but the good thing is the spirulina I get is the Hawaiian Pacifica brand, which is a fairly good brand. And it's when I worked in functional medicine, the doctor I worked with had this website where you can actually look at all the brands and they're graded. And it's not just graded by brand or people's reviews. It's actually graded by the way it's the ingredients, how it's sourced, where it's sourced and everything. And that's was one of the top brands. And that's why I stuck with it. So Hawaiian Pacifica spirulina and I love it. It's got a decent taste. It's one of my favorite ones. I also saw somebody recently promoting this stuff called Blue Magic. It's blue spirulina, which looks pretty good. And I'm always open to trying things. So, and spirulina is one of my favorite supplements that I take. So,
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So, moving forward, like, what is your? I mean, you're inspiring so many people. I mean, do you have any other projects you're working on, or any other goals next year? If you don't mind sharing.
Not at all. I just am looking to build on everything I'm doing. That's basically a big reason for coming to LA. I felt like I kind of did everything I could in Chicago. It was time to shed that layer of everything. And just, you know, I left a job, I left a relationship, left the city, and Here I am. And it's time to really grow and evolve and focus on my goals, you know. And I mean, I don't have no end goal like I want this or I want to be here or I want to have this. It's basically just keep doing what I'm doing, putting more energy into it, and taking every opportunity I can. And in the coming year, I'm going to be doing more events. I'm doing a couple of events in January with these guys, John Badass Vegan, Doms Thompson, and Tori Washington. They're all big-time vegan athletes and activists. So we've been doing these panels all year, and we're going to pick up where we left off in January. We're going to be in Arkansas. We're going to be doing one in LA. I'm also hosting my first retreat in Costa Rica in March. Which I'm really excited about. So yeah, just looking to really build on what I've been doing and, you know, just keep spreading a positive message. I mean, that's basically, you know, I always say, you know, I can die tomorrow and I'd be happy with what I've done. I mean, obviously I want to do more, but being able to inspire my mom and help change her life was enough for me on this mission, you know, being able to, cause you know, I lost my grandparents, you know, to cancer. And I didn't know any of this information. Everybody, you know, we've all lost family members. And to be able to inspire somebody that close, me and my mom are very close, it was just life-changing for me. So now it's like I'm happy with where I'm at. Obviously, I want to keep building and keep spreading a more positive message, especially having a platform. I feel very fortunate that I can do that. And that you know, it kind of holds me accountable to this lifestyle, too. It inspires me, you know. Like when I see the engagement, it inspires me to want to continue to do this. So
that's amazing. Do you have anybody that you look up to or any favorite quotes that you would like to share?
Favorite quotes? There's a bunch of favorite quotes. I mean, as far as people...
Or your own quote.
Sorry?
Or your own quote.
Yeah. I mean, as far people that I look up to, I would highly recommend if people are trying to get into this lifestyle, like you said, Fully Rockerstein is incredible. She has so many recipes out there. I mean, for the first couple of years of me going raw, I used so many of her recipes on YouTube, and they're so easy. I mean, the raw ingredients are raw recipes literally only have like 4 or 5 ingredients in them, and they taste incredible, and you can share them with your family. I definitely recommend checking her out. I recommend checking out Dan to Life Regenerator McDonald if you're on YouTube. The man is incredible. He has, especially his older videos, I mean, he just dummies information down for you, talks about how important juicing is. Again, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead is a great documentary. Forks Over Knives, or the China Study book. I actually read the book first and then found out there was a documentary, and that's what me and my girlfriend at the time were like, whoa, and that's what made us go vegetarian. Wow. You know, there's all this information out there that we just turn on our TV and we're putting on Fox 32, and you know, we're watching all these reality shows and all this news and all this fear-based stuff thrown in our face with pharmaceutical drug commercials and fast food commercials. There's no information about how juicing can help heal you, or raw foods can help heal you, or right. You know, so it's very unfortunate. So it's very important to seek this information. It's out there. YouTube, I mean, we're in the information age. It's just a couple clicks away. I mean, you have to really want the change to do it, though. You know, don't listen to people around you. I didn't listen to friends. I didn't listen to family. I had a goal in mind, and I said I want to heal, and I just focused on that and didn't focus on any outer physical things, and that's it.
That's really amazing. Thank you very much for sharing that. So I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
What does happiness from within mean to you?
What does happiness from within mean to me? Happiness from within just means doing things that are in alignment with you, that are you, that your inner child. You know, what do you love to do, and do it, you know, and that's kind of how I'm living right now. I mean, you know, making videos with my dog. I'm always out in nature, doing things that make me happy, you know, being out in the sun, seeing palm trees, walking barefoot, you know, the little things. I always tell people I drove to California, you know, with nothing. I literally filled my car up with a juicer, with my camera. I said, I'm coming here very minimal. I don't need anything to keep me happy. I don't need things, you know. All I need is this guy. It doesn't take much, and just being out in nature and just having the best food on earth to make me feel the best in order to serve the best I can. So just doing things that make you happy, ultimately.
Wow, that's absolutely incredible. I really love what you said about keeping things very simple. Yeah. That's actually personally something that one of my coaches has taught me, about keeping things very simple, because I think as human beings, would you agree, we complicate things. We're just human, like, oh, I got to do this and that and that, you know, so keeping things simple. Thank you for sharing that. That's so key.
Well, you know, I was talking to a friend yesterday who had just flown back to Chicago, and we were going back and forth, and they're like, you know, I had such a good time. Yeah, they were like out of the country, and then they come back, and you know, when you're in transit, you're just going to get your bags, and people are yelling, and you look up and you see CNN on, and you see all this stuff, and everybody's got their agenda. You know, everybody's moving without, they don't even know why they're moving. They're just moving because I got to go pay my bills. I got to go. But it's like just being present and just knowing that now in this moment is really all we have, and just accepting that and enjoying it, you know, being grateful for this life that we have, instead of just, I got to go do this. I got to do this. You know, it's like, be present.
Absolutely. That was perfectly and beautifully said. Thank you for that.
Yeah, definitely.
So, is there anything else you'd like to share?
No, I mean, I think I pretty much covered everything. And, you know, the last thing I'll say is, if there's somebody out there who is trying to change or make a change or wants to do something, do it and believe in yourself. The only thing that's limiting you or stopping you is everything up in your mind and your beliefs, the way we're conditioned, the way we are taught. You can't do this. But the reality is, if we could think it, we can achieve it. And it's as true as putting all our energy into it. And I'm talking about all of our energy. Like, I got rid of my cable. I got rid of all my distractions in my life and really focused my energy on my material and the things that I wanted to create for myself. And you can literally create anything. And, you know, it's fear is literally what keeps us from, you know, moving forward, keeps us from our truth. So if you're passionate about something, follow your dreams. You're never too old. Don't ever let anything keep you from that.
Wow. That's amazing. And where can people follow you, Jonny?
So you can actually, my main site is johnnyjuicer.com, and you can find all my social media outlets there. But obviously, Instagram is my biggest platform. where I do most of my stuff, and then I kind of channel it through my Facebook. But I have a Jonny Juicer Facebook, YouTube as well. But Jonny_Juicer on Instagram. That's
perfect. And I'll make sure to include the links below.
Excellent.
Well, Jonny, this has been such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
It's been great. Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Absolutely. And again, thank you so much. And I'm just really, really honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine.
Absolutely. Well, I wish you an amazing day, you and Noah, and I will catch you soon, okay? Have a great day.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you. Bye. Hey guys, so that's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining me in episode 4 of Happiness from Within. My goal is that this was able to touch your heart and soul in any sort of way, or help you to make a decision to start taking better care of your health through juicing. And please, any value that you've received, please make sure to subscribe and leave a comment. It really helps to spread the message of happiness from within. I just wish you guys the most beautiful day, and I will catch you guys on the next interview. Have a great day. Bye-bye.